Welcome to Influential Entrepreneurs, bringing you interviews with elite business leaders and experts, sharing tips and strategies for elevating your business to the next level. Here's your host, Mike Saunders.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Influential Entrepreneurs. This is Mike Saunders, the Authority Positioning Coach. Today we have with us Chris Mirabile, who's the founder and CEO of Novos. Chris, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mike. It's a pleasure to be here.
Hey, I'm looking forward to talking with you because I know you are dealing with a huge undertaking, dealing with a longevity. So before we jump into that, give us a little bit of your story and your background.
Sure. So I've been interested in health since I was a kid. At 12 years old, I saw an issue of Men's Health magazine on the newsstand and picked it up and was inspired by it. So I started to exercise and to eat what I thought at the time was a healthy diet, the low fat, high protein, high carb diet. And then fast forward to when I was 16 years old, it came as that much more of a surprise to me when I was diagnosed with a brain tumor. It was discovered because I suddenly had a seizure while on a school trip in New York City, and I woke up with blood all over my shirt from severing my tongue with my teeth. And they rushed me to the emergency room, gave me a CAT scan, only to discover a golf ball-sized tumor above my left ear. And so at that moment, I started to ask myself existential questions and contemplating mortality and all of the life experiences I did not yet have, and also started to resolve to myself that if I survived and made it through the surgery and was healthy again, all of the things I wanted to do with my life. And one of the things I realized was I wanted to be an entrepreneur, to be able to kind of set my own course and to be able to have a positive impact on as many people as I could by creating something that could have a positive impact. And after recovering from the surgery, it turned into basically a year-long recovery process. I was on anti-seizure medications. I had a lot of inflammation in my brain from the surgery. I was sidelined a lot, and I went from playing high school football to writing poetry on Friday nights about my experience. And so it was a very transformative experience for me. It planted the seed in my subconscious for what is now my company, Novos, and my passion for trying to extend health span and lifespan as much as I possibly can.
And I'm sure that's just an easy check the box, and we've just increased lifespan, obviously not. And the first thing that comes to my mind is you go on social media or Google and you see ad after ad after ad that makes wild claims, I would suspect. What are you guys doing that makes these claims sound plausible and feasible? Because I look at your website and I see a lot of research and science. So I know there's a lot of hucksters out there, putting products out there that probably, you guys have to fight against, right? So talk a little bit about the industry as a whole.
Yes. Well, so there's anti-aging products out there, quote unquote anti-aging products that have existed for a long time. And none of these actually impact the aging process. They are oftentimes, say skin creams that might hide the signs of aging by moisturizing your skin, but they're not actually acting on the fundamental biological processes of aging. So we took a novel approach. We were the very first company in the world to do this, where we wanted to address what's known as the hallmarks of aging, or the biological causes of aging. When we first launched, there were 9 of them. There are now 12 biological causes of aging that scientists have uncovered. These are things like mitochondrial health, cellular senescence, the epigenome dysregulation, loss of proteostasis, and so on. And so these are all well-studied biological processes that take place. And as we age, they start to change and start to malfunction, if you will. And we wanted to try to positively impact all of these hallmarks. And research has indicated that you can positively impact these. Like, for example, it's one of the reasons why exercise or eating healthy can actually extend your health span, extend your lifespan, and slow down the aging process. But our question was, what more can you do? And are there specific ingredients found in nature that can directly impact these hallmarks? And the answer, after a lot of research, was yes, there are specific ingredients. And so we brought on a team of world-renowned scientists from Harvard Medical School, from MIT, from the Salk Institute, who are longevity-focused biologists and geneticists. And we together put together a longevity formulation. It's patent pending. It's called Novos Core. It's our foundational formula. And this is the very first formula to address all 12 of the hallmarks simultaneously. It's backed by more than 300 scientific studies for each of the ingredients we included. We put all of the ingredients through a filter of different qualifications to decide whether we wanted to include it. For example, has the ingredient been shown to extend lifespan in multiple animal species? And if so, then that hints at it being an evolutionarily conserved biological process. In other words, if evolution decided the process through which this ingredient is able to extend lifespan is important enough for that process to exist in multiple animal species, then it most likely also exists in humans, and therefore is most likely going to extend lifespan in humans as well. So there's 10 of these different qualifications that we talk about on novoslabs.com/approach. And that's how we were able to filter out a lot of other potential ingredients, and then eventually put together the formulation that we did testing on. We also did scientific studies and continue to, both in vitro human cell studies and clinical trials that are underway for the Novos formulation. And we've seen amazing results on reduction in DNA damage, for example, or keeping senescent cells at bay. So we are very much a science-based company, not simply saying that, but in many ways we're like a biotech company. We essentially are a biotech company, but we offer over-the-counter supplements, ingredients that are found in nature, so they don't require the same level of FDA scrutiny as say inventing a new molecule does when you're trying to create a pharmaceutical drug.
Mm-hmm. So when I hear a lot of what you said, at the cellular level and bigger names, it's wonderful that you guys have all the research and scientists there. But what I would wonder is is some of the feedback that you're getting from people using your formulation, as far as what are they feeling or experiencing? Meaning, hey, my cellular regeneration of whatever the case is, when we ran this test, 9 months later, it has improved, but I can't really tell that. It's like way, way, way below the level. But what are the things, and that's wonderful that it's improving those, but what are the things that people are noticing right off with maybe more energy or, skin or hair, things like that?
Yeah, great questions. So we first and foremost, it is important to consider, like, aging is a lifelong process. And so this is a very big ship, if you will, that we're trying to now change the direction of. And so this is a ongoing gradual process. But to the point of whether the shorter term benefits, within a few weeks to sometimes a few months, we get very high percentage of people reporting benefits ranging from improvements in skin health. So, for example, more elasticity in the skin. In fact, we did a small trial where we found a significant increase using a scientific device called an indentometer that measures skin firmness and elasticity. We found that for the subjects in the study, there is a minimum increase of 12% increase in firmness, an average of 22%, and I believe a maximum increase of 40% increase in firmness after taking the Novos Core and Boost products for 6 months. So skin health is one. Another is mood. So a lot of people say they feel more calm while taking Novos, and that's owed to a few of the ingredients within Novos that have not only longevity benefits, but they've also been studied to have neurological effects, in particular, keeping people feeling calm and balanced and centered. Another benefit is energy. So that's probably largely mediated through improvements in sleep. So there are ingredients in here like magnesium malate, L-theanine, and a few others that are able to improve sleep. And then obviously, as we all know, when you sleep better, you have more energy and you feel better the next day. But then there are also some ingredients that can improve cellular energy. That could be, for example, NMN, which is short for nicotinamide mononucleotide. It's one of the most exciting ingredients in the longevity space, made famous by Dr. David Sinclair at Harvard. There's a number of ingredients like that as well. So I would say that in a nutshell, those are the short-term benefits. And then in terms of the impact on longevity, we did a case study with a dozen participants where we took half male, half female, and we administered Novos Core and Boost, our two products, to them. And before giving them Novos Core and Boost, we measured their biological pace of aging. There's actually a way where scientists with a blood sample are able to measure the rate at which you're aging. For example, if the result is 1, your average aging pace. If it's 1.1, you're 10% faster. If it's 0.7, you're 30% slower, for example. So we wanted to see if our supplements could impact the pace at which you age. And after 6 months of use of Novos Core and Boost, the participants aged 39 to, I believe, 72, 73% of the participants had a statistical significant reduction in their pace of aging. And of the 27% that did not have a reduction, they stayed the same. In other words, they did not have an acceleration in their pace of aging.
But they also didn't age.
They aged at an average rate, right?
Oh, got it.
Or
Okay,
at their normal rate. So
Got it.
essentially what it means is that 100% of the people taking Novos either maintained or improved their rate of aging, 73% of which improved. No one got worse. And if you were to take the average just take a random population, a whole bunch of people are going to age faster because of stressors in their lives, right? Psychological stress, alcohol, cigarette smoke, whatever it might be. These people, they stayed the same. So they could have, in theory, gotten worse if not for taking the Novos supplements. And this was a statistically significant finding. So the p-value, which is a scientific concept for the probability that this was actually just a coincidence, was 0.001. So it's 1 in 1,000 chance that this was a coincidence.
That's huge. I love I teach marketing for several universities, and so I'm always keyed into when you make a statement or a claim, you need to back it up with a reference. This person said, well, when you guys have 300 plus studies, that goes a whole long way. And you can't seem to watch a Shark Tank episode without seeing Lori or someone going, has this been tested? Has this been proven? And you've got 300 studies that support your ingredients. So I think that is such a huge platform that you can stand on.
Thank you. Yes, and we don't even stop there, right? So that's why we do this in vitro testing and the clinical trials and so on. So we want to prove out that not only are the ingredients very solid, which has already been proven, we're now proving that the formula is actually synergistic and that it has more potent effects than any of the ingredients on their own. So, for example, we did a DNA damage study where the cells were irradiated, and those cells either had Novos or didn't have Novos. And the reduction in DNA damage or oxidative damage to the DNA was reduced by more than 70%. Now, the laboratory that did this study for us had warned us before they started. They said, we have done more than $7 million worth of studies on pharmaceutical drugs, over-the-counter, natural ingredients, including ingredients in your formula. And we've never seen any significant results. And we said, okay, well, let's give it a try anyway. And they were so impressed by these results, which were off the charts compared to their other experiments, that they called their CEO before calling us to let him know about the magnitude of our effect. So we're really excited about what we've created and what we will continue to create and bring to market with future formulations. This is just the beginning for us, but we're really intent on proving this out. This isn't a a marketing scheme or gimmick that many companies in the space employ.
Yes.
This is something that we are genuinely looking to slow down the pace of aging, selfishly for my own health and for those of my loved ones, but then also for everyone else who is willing to give it a try.
I love it. Well, Chris, it's been such a pleasure talking with you today. If someone is interested in learning more and even taking the longevity quiz that you have on your website, what is the best way that they can reach out and learn more?
Sure. So if they go to novoslabs.com, they will have access to free content, the free quiz, like you mentioned, a free ebook, and even something called Face Age, which with the power of AI, you can take a selfie and it can give you an analysis of your skin health and your facial age. All confidentially, of course, but it gives you advice then to how to improve all of those markers. And you can also go to slowmyage.com. That's my personal blog where I go over my own results related to aging. This is for someone who's a little bit more of a hobbyist or wants to geek out on the science behind this and how to implement it into their own lives.
Excellent. Well, Chris, thank you so much for coming on today. It's been a real pleasure talking with you.
Likewise. Thanks so much, Mike.
You've been listening to Influential Entrepreneurs with Mike Saunders. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.influentialentrepreneursradio.com.